Hi everyone, welcome to the next session as part of the linear arrangement module. This is a series of free classes where we are going through the entire linear arrangement module as part of the DILR free course. Later on, we'll be moving on to other modules of DILR as well. So this was the sixth part of the video series. I hope all of you have visited the parts 1 to 5. In case you haven't, post having a look at the session, you can definitely go back and revisit part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This session and this entire series is brought to you by me, Nilanjan Datta, a CAT, as well as a DILR Section 100 Percentiler, and one of the topmost educators on Unacademy platform for the CAT and MBA exams segment. So in today's session, we'll be doing linear arrangement, but this will not be just a left to right or a top to bottom sequence. Here we'll be doing an attribute-based sequence. What do you mean by attribute-based sequence? So here if you look at the set, we have 5 boys, Margot, Ritesh, Naresh, Trevon, and Karan. So they are standing in sequence of their weights. Also it said all of them have a different weight, which means what? You need to basically arrange the 5 of them in terms of their weight. So this is the way you need to arrange the 5 of them. So here you have 4 and the 5th person is here. This person is your heaviest. This person is your lightest. So what do? You put the greater than symbol in between each of them. Remember, nobody can have equal weight because everybody is having a different weight. Now what you do is, using these clues, you need to identify which boy fits in to which position. So let us see how to go about doing that. Before that, a quick check at the questions. So the first question in the set is saying how many of the boys are lighter than Karan. The second one is saying arrange the following boys in decreasing sequence of their weights. So what we have done is we've created a decreasing sequence here where from highest to the lightest. The heaviest to lightest is the sequence that we have. Let us try plugging in the people. कभी भी कोई linear arrangement set में the first thing you do is fix one person as your point of reference, which is easier. Now, किसके बारे में direct clue है अपने पास? On which of these boys do I have a direct clue which says that this person is seated here? And that is where you have the clue on Margot. So what is said about Margot? Margot has the median weight among the 5 boys. Which means in this middle position here out of the 5, Margot will be there such that there are 2 people who are heavier. There are 2 people who are lighter than. So Margot will be right in the middle of the 5. Now what happens is, the other than Margot, what you have is some of the other clues who you need to fit in. So let's look at, that is the maximum clues are related to the person called Ritesh. What are the clues on Ritesh? There is one clue which says Ritesh is not the heaviest, which means Ritesh is not at this position. Also it says Trevon is 5 kgs lighter than Ritesh, which means Ritesh is definitely not the lightest person as well in the set. So what that means is, while Ritesh is not the heaviest, even in the last position here, you will not be having Ritesh. So Ritesh is neither here nor is Ritesh here. So that leaves us with 2 different possibilities. What are the 2 possibilities that we have? Given that Ritesh is at neither end, the only 2 possibilities are you can either have Ritesh here or you can have Ritesh in this position. Remember, Ritesh is not the lightest because it said Trevon is lighter than Ritesh. Also, Ritesh is not the heaviest, so Ritesh cannot be at this end either. So the only 2 positions for Ritesh are this or this. Now, the moment you fix Ritesh, there is a clue which says the number of boys heavier than Ritesh is equal to the number of boys lighter than Naresh. Now, in the first case, there is only one person who is heavier than Ritesh. Who's that person? This person. So as you can see, Ritesh is the second heaviest. So there is, in the first case, there is only one person, that is this person here, who is heavier than Ritesh. Which means that there must be only one boy who is lighter than Naresh. So where must Naresh be? Naresh must be here such that there is only one boy lighter than Naresh. So what we do is we plug in Naresh as the second lightest such that there is only one boy lighter than Naresh. Similarly, in the second case, what happens is we have three people who are heavier than Ritesh. Who are they? 1, 2, 3. So there are three boys heavier than Ritesh, which means there must be three boys lighter than Naresh. So where must Naresh be? If there are three boys lighter than Naresh, then Naresh must be at this position. So in the first case, we get Ritesh here and Naresh here. In the second case, we get Ritesh here and Naresh here. Both of them are satisfying this clue that the number of boys heavier than Ritesh is equal to the number of boys lighter than Naresh. So effectively what happens is Ritesh and Naresh's positions in the set are interchangeable. And the moment you understand that, the set becomes a lot more easier to solve. Now that I've identified the positions of Ritesh and Naresh, the next person is Trevon. Trevon is lighter than Ritesh. So in the first case, the only blank place that is lighter than Ritesh is this position. So Trevon must be the lightest. Similarly, in the second case, there's again only one position left, which is lighter than Ritesh, which means Trevon must again be the lightest. That leaves us with only one person in the set, that is Karan. So Karan then will go into the remaining position, that is Karan must be the heaviest boy in this. So what we've done is we've identified the sequence, but what we've got is two possible sequences that are satisfying all the clues. One sequence is Karan greater than Ritesh, greater than Margot, greater than Naresh, greater than Trevon. The second sequence is Karan greater than Naresh, greater than Margot, greater than Ritesh, greater than Trevon. So we've got two sequences to play with in the set. So keeping both the sequence in mind, let us look at the questions. हमेशा जब दो scenarios आएंगे, make sure that you're marking answers based on both the sequences. Never forget one sequence when you're trying to mark the answers. So the first question is saying, how many of the boys are lighter than Karan? In both the cases, if you see, Karan is the heaviest, which means that is 1, 2, 3, 4, that is all four boys are lighter than Karan. It doesn't matter in which case, where is Ritesh seated, where is Naresh seated. क्यों? क्योंकि दोनों ही कम है Karan के respect में. Whether Ritesh is here and Naresh is here, or whether Naresh is here and Ritesh is here, remember all four of them are definitely lighter than Karan. Which means in both cases, you get the answer, it's all four. Hence the answer is option D. Had both the cases given you different answers, then the answer would have been cannot determine. But since both the cases are giving the same answer, that is all four boys are lighter than Karan, hence the answer to this question will be option D, all four. The next question is saying, arrange the following boys in decreasing sequence of their weights. Now, one thing is for certain that Trevon is the lightest. So if we look at Trevon, Trevon is definitely the lightest in both the cases. But when it comes to Ritesh and Naresh, that is where there is a big confusion. In one case, Naresh is heavier than Ritesh. In the other case, Ritesh is heavier than Naresh. Which means we have two possible scenarios. Hence, the answer is option D, cannot be determined. If you look at the options, you'll find two options are satisfying. Naresh greater than Ritesh greater than Trevon is satisfying scenario 2. Whereas Ritesh greater than Naresh greater than Trevon is satisfying scenario 1. Since there are two possible arrangements, hence the answer will be cannot be determined because you do not have a unique way of arranging the tree of them. So as you can see, this structure is again very similar to the normal linear arrangement. The only thing here is instead of arranging them from top to bottom or left to right, what you're doing is you're doing it based on the parameter in the question. For example, in this set, you're arranging them from heaviest to the lightest. Is the set clear, everybody? How we've arranged them from the heaviest to lightest? So the answers to both the questions are option B. The first one is all 4 people lighter than Karan. In the second case, 2 options are correct, B and C. Both the arrangements are correct. Hence, the answer is option D, cannot be determined as we do not have a unique sequence. Wherever you don't get a unique sequence in DILR, the answer will always end up being cannot be determined. So with that, we've come to the end of this attribute-based set discussion. I hope all of you understood it. In case you are facing challenges on any kind of sets related to linear arrangement, related to attribute-based concepts, do reach out to us via the Telegram group, that is Percentiler Live. So make sure that all of you are reaching out via the Telegram group in case you have any challenges regarding any of the sets that we discussed. Also, actively make sure that you are liking and sharing and commenting on each of these videos. Do not forget to share this set of videos with all CAT 2021, CAT 2022 and all future CAT aspirants. Also, what I've done is, a lot of you have been requesting for a full syllabus DILR compilation. So what I've done is I've compiled the list of links that you need to visit to. The DI crash course is there, followed by the LR crash course, followed by the DILR score booster workshops, followed by games and tournaments. All 4 series are covered here. All you need to do is use the access code PERCENTILERLIVE to access this entire DILR compilation. It's like a playlist where you get the entire syllabus for DILR covered. Similarly, we have one similar playlist for Quants as well, where you have arithmetic, algebra, geometry, numbers, modern maths. You have a separate playlist for each of them. Make sure they're going to this link. You can copy these links on the URL, or you get them in the Telegram group, and make sure you're visiting and watching each and every video. Do not miss out a single concept. Watch every video, and do not forget to share this entire playlist with all your friends and people preparing for CAT for any of these upcoming years. Also, as you know, as part of the series, we are coming up with a new video daily. So make sure that all of you are coming up with suggestions for us in the comment section on what are the upcoming topics on which you want more and more videos. Lastly, do not forget to like, share and comment as much as possible on the platform. So make sure you're liking and sharing and commenting each of these videos. Share them as much as possible to all CAT aspirants, and keep in touch via the Telegram channel. This is an effective platform. You can let us know what exactly are the challenges you're facing as far as DILR, as far as Quants, as far as VRC, so that we can have more and more free videos on that topic. On that note, let's keep in touch via Telegram. On that note, thank you everybody and happy learning.